coming back with a new video series. I have been saving my pickups that I've been getting from the last 2 months here. Just want to do a video on stuff I'm getting into collecting, if you're into game collecting and physical media and all that stuff. I got a good mix of PlayStation stuff, good mix of Xbox, good amount of Xbox stuff. The great thing with the Xbox stuff is a lot of this you can still play on current hardware. Whether you have an Xbox One, that's backwards compatible with a bunch of games. Xbox Series S and X is compatible with all of that stuff too. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. With PlayStation, that's not the case. A lot of the games, especially PS3 or older, you are not going to be able to play on your PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. They do have PlayStation Now, which is some streaming capabilities for part of the library, so that is always an option. But, yeah, let's just get into it. Also, just want to say, earlier this year, Sony was going to, shut down the PS3 and the Vita store so that you could no longer purchase games off of it. Got a lot of outcry, which was very good. We need that. We want these companies to preserve video games as much as we can. So, for now, a lot of these you can buy on the PS3 store if you still have a PS3, so that is an option. But if you are looking to get into physical media, I would start buying now because prices are going up. Same with 360 Xbox, original Xbox games. But for the first one, I'll go through all my PlayStation stuff. I've got Spyro the Dragon, Ripto's Rage. This is the second game in the series made by Insomniac. Personally, this is my favorite of the three. It kind of just greatly improved everything that the first game did. Me and Colin actually went to a game store near us, and I'll tell you what I paid for this. This only cost me $20. So, and I know the case is a little beat up, but this game is also 23 years old at this point. So, not too bad. And the disc, I would say, is in pretty good shape. Not a whole lot of scratches on there. I believe you can play this on a PS3 if you put the disc in. Otherwise, they do have the Reimagined Trilogy that is on Xbox One, PS4, so I would recommend playing on there, but I think for $20 that was a very good buy. Next one is a PS2 game, and I loved this game as a kid growing up. SmackDown vs. Raw. This was my first wrestling game I've ever played, and, you just got all the greats that were in this game. I paid, let's see, $15 for this one. This probably doesn't hold up very well today, but this was a really fun game. Create a character mode. Okay, next, moving to PS3. The first game I definitely recommend buying before the price shoots up. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. This is the fourth game in the series. This, I think I paid about $36 for this. This is one of those games that have been going up in price. So, if you can find it. I was never much of a Sly fan. My sister is, though. So, she played this. From what I remember, she enjoyed this. So, you got to play a bunch of Sly's ancestors, and they had, gameplay differences. So, kind of cool. Yeah. Definitely get this one and the collection, if you can, before it really shoots up. Alright. Next one. Very popular game you can get for very cheap nowadays. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. I actually own this already, but I hate having one Steelbook game in a series and the rest aren't. So I just wanted to get another copy, and this was like $5. So you can play this on PS4 via the Nathan Drake collection. And honestly, there's so many copies out there, you really would not have any problems getting this. But always a good pickup for the collection. You can't go wrong with Uncharted. Alright, next one. Jak and Daxter HD collection. This is actually, you probably can't tell, this is sealed. I got this on eBay for, I believe it was like 30 bucks. This is another one that actually, frankly, just any of the collections, Sony first party collections for the systems are going up in price, so definitely get this. Just contains the 3 Naughty Dog Jak games, some of Colin's favorite games, so, and I didn't own this one yet, so that was a good one to get. Alright, next, Yakuza 4. Honestly, if you just want to play the game, play this on next gen. It's on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. However, this was, I forgot what the name of it is. I'll put it in the description of the video, but there's a Canadian video game website that got the rights to reprint a bunch of these. So this was about $25-30 US, from what I can remember. Colin and I both picked up a copy of this, and I love the Yakuza series ever since it came to Game Pass. I've been playing them. I actually beat 4 about a few months ago. So this was just I want to get it for my collection since it didn't get a physical release on Xbox. But you can play it on newer hardware, so if that's all you're worried about, I would just play it there. Alright, next two, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 collection and the 2.5 collection. Both of these have also been re-released on newer hardware. 1.5 features Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, which was just cutscenes, but they are there to watch in the entirety. This added a lot of new content in the Final Mix. New creatures to battle, new items, new boss fights. However, this has been re-released about 6 different times, so if you have a newer system to play it on, I would recommend play it on there. It's gonna look prettier, it's gonna run better. Unless you only have a Switch or a PS3, I would go with the PS3 versions in that case, since they're not cloud-based. But other than that, if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, play them on there. I'm going to say the same thing with this one, but this features Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and then Recoded, which was a DS one that is also just cutscenes in here, but that is available to you. They also have at least for PlayStation, they have the all-in-one collection, I think it's called, which is just both of those collections put into one collection. So, all right, next, moving on to my PS4 games. Yakuza 0, the start of the franchise. I played this on Xbox when it came to Game Pass. It's not really I paid about $20, which is, I know it's out of print now, but that's the price they were selling it for anyway. Great game. Play it on PlayStation 4, play it on PlayStation 5, play it on Xbox, whatever you do. Great franchise, play it. I also can see the Yakuza games shooting up in price, so. Alright, next we have God of War 2018. I do own this digitally, but I did want to get a physical copy, so I found this at GameStop. I think it was $10, easily worth that price. Lots of copies out there, so you don't have to worry about that shooting up anytime soon, but alright, and then finally, Insomniac's Spider-Man game. I'm in the middle of playing this on my PS5. Great game. The web slinging in this is just chef's kiss. The fighting's pretty good. The voice acting's really good. The side missions, not too bad. Just a great game. Insomniac nailed it with that one. This was about, I think this was like $8 at GameStop, so not too pricey either there. Next, we will move on to the Xbox games. And like I said earlier, a bunch of this is going to be backwards compatible stuff. So most of it you can download if you're just worrying about getting a copy to play. But a bunch of these I think were good pickups, so we'll go over that too. First one, the 2-pack of the Star Wars The Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds. This was like $3. Neither of these games are backwards compatible to my knowledge, but it was nice to get a manual for both games. Let's see. And both games are on the one disc, which kind of surprises me, but that looks immaculate. So I don't think either of these are really super must-plays, but if you can get it for a cheap price, go ahead. All right, next one, and I loved this game growing up as a kid. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. So this is backwards compatible. This was added in the final batch they did. I think it was November of last year, but great Star Wars game. It is 1 to 2 player. I'm just gonna spoil it because this game's older than shit. If you play this 2 player, when you get to the final mission, you guys are required to fight each other, which I think at the time, it makes sense if you watch the movie. Anakin and Obi-Wan fight each other, high ground and all that. But to think that a video game would do that, blew my mind as a kid. So I played this on PS2. I have not played the Xbox version, but I assume it plays just the same, probably a little bit better, which is how most of these Star Wars games for the Xbox were comparatively. I paid $10 for this. So that's what they're selling it on the Xbox store for. So great pickup though. Next, moving to 360 stuff. BioShock Infinite. I don't want to say final game in the trilogy, but the final BioShock game that we got until the new one releases. This is backwards compatible. This will play on your Xbox One, Xbox Series S, X. Well, not S, because it doesn't have a disk drive, but this is about $10. You can buy it on the Xbox store. I see on sale probably once a month. It also did get a remaster, so you can play it that way too if you don't want to track down an older copy. All right. Next one, my favorite basketball game of all time, NBA 2K13. I think this is where the series peaked, in my opinion. I know some of my buddies like Joe probably won't agree with me there, but I felt like this was the best 2K has been before they got super greedy and exploitive. But the game was fun. It probably won't hold up today, and it is not backwards compatible, so you cannot play it. But you can find these at most stores for $5-10, so worth it in my opinion. Okay, next one. Injustice: Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. This game actually got a re-release on PS4. Did not on Xbox, so fortunately we got to deal with the backwards compatible version. But this is the first major NetherRealm Studios DC game. So about story, Superman kills Joker, and then you get evil Superman. You play through a story about trying to stop Superman. Ultimate Edition includes all the DLC characters, so Martian Manhunter, Zod, Batgirl, forgot the other. I think Scorpion's in this too, because you gotta add a Mortal Kombat character since they made the game. I paid. Let me see if I have this one. I paid $8 for this. Yeah, $8 for this. Easily worth it if you can find it for that price. Honestly, I see normally the regular version of Injustice just go for like $10. So great pickup. You can buy that on the Xbox store with the DLC. So that's always an option. Next one, Fable 3. Third game in the trilogy. This is also backwards compatible, and this got a FPS boost, so you can play this at 60 frames on the new system. You can generally find this game for $10, maybe $15. Worth it at that price, in my opinion. Definitely grab that. All right, next. It's one of my favorites. Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD Collection. So, I originally owned this for PS3. I don't know what happened to my copy. But, yeah. So, this is a remastered Budokai 1 and 3. I don't think we ever got an official reason for why 2 is not in here. This is not backwards compatible, but these were, especially Budokai 3 is one of my favorite PS2 games of all time. So this was worth it. I paid about $36 for this. This one has been going up. So, and the fact that it's not backwards compatible means you can't buy it off this. You might still be able to buy it on the 360 store, but it's a lot harder to get since there's not as many copies out. These still hold, well, Budokai 1 doesn't hold up as well, in my opinion, but 3 still holds up immensely well, and it's still a really fun game, and just being able to play that on more modern hardware versus the PS2, I think is a great pickup. So if you can find that for a good price, definitely do it, because Dragon Ball games do not go down in price. They will just keep going up. Next, my introduction to the series, Battlefield 3. This one, I would say, story's not very good, but the multiplayer was prime at the time. There's probably not many people playing it, if there is anybody playing it nowadays. So I would not pay more than $5 for this, honestly. But it is backwards compatible, so you can download it on the Xbox store, play it there if you want. Next, we have BioShock 2. You know, I really like this game. It's not as good as the first. And honestly, it still holds up very well. You get to play as Big Daddy. They introduced new enemies. There's big sisters you got to deal with. The story was pretty good. Its DLC expansion, Minerva's Den, is like one of the best story DLCs for a game that you can get. And this game at the time had multiplayer. It was kind of unique. Like, you had your own apartment. You would start out in your own apartment, and then there were just levels. And you had to either like protect the little sister, or there was deathmatch. It was pretty unique for the time, and I'd actually be okay going back to that. That is backwards compatible. You can get that on the Xbox store. All right, next one. Assassin's Creed: The Americas Collection. This isn't actually a game itself. This is just a collection of Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, and Liberation HD, which was the PS Vita game that they ported to 360 and PS3. All three are backwards compatible. The problem is you can't buy Liberation HD on the store anymore, so you have to find one of these codes. Don't know if they'll still work, and if you're getting this used, there's a good chance it doesn't. In terms of collecting, so there's 4 discs. So you got Assassin's Creed 3 single player, Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer disc. Black Flag is going to have 1 disc for multiplayer and 1 for the story too. Honestly, this was like $25, which I've seen on the cheaper end. You can get 3 and 4 both cheaper physically for 360 if you just get their separate releases. They're like $5-10 each. They are backwards compatible, and for was a launch game for the Xbox One, PS4, so you can play it on there. And then 3 did get a remaster that you can buy separately too. So if you're just looking to play the games, I would go with that collection aspect. If you just want to have the games, I would just track down a copy of 3 and 4 by themselves. You'll pay less than you did for that. Next game, underrated game, Crackdown 1. It's basically a game you're just placed and you get these powers and you can literally like jump buildings and stuff. Very fun, very silly, kind of open GTA-ish open world, where you're just taking down crime. This at the time did come with a beta key for Halo 3, so that's how you know this is old. This is backwards compatible, very fun game. Actually, all 3 of the Crackdowns are, so. If you can get this for, I would say like $10 max, it's worth it. Otherwise, maybe just buy it when it's on sale on Xbox. They've given it away for free a few times too. Alright, one of the other games that is not backwards compatible, Sleeping Dogs. Colin actually just played this for the first time this year. This is a very underrated GTA-like game. If you guys played the True Crime series, this was going to be True Crime Hong Kong before the rights got sold off from Activision and Square Enix bought it. The combat's very Batman Arkham-like. A little simpler, but not a lot of gunplay in this, which I think is actually really good because the gunplay is okay. But the world and the characters are great. They actually did a remaster, and that's how Cullen played it, and he was going to do a review on it. So, very underrated game series. I wish we would have got another one. I paid like $5 for that, and that's easily worth it unless you just want to play it by the remastered. All right, next 2 are games that they announced in the last backwards compatibility update, but you cannot buy on the Xbox store, at least from last time I looked. You got Mortal Kombat 9, which was the reboot, and Mortal Kombat versus DC. So, start with this one. This came out in, sorry, let me see here. This came out before this, so this was like 2009. Okay, 2009. So basically, you know, Mortal Kombat characters, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, versus they get thrown in like the DC universe. So they fight Batman, Superman's in there, Wonder Woman, Joker. This is kind of the prelude to Injustice. It's not as gory as Mortal Kombat is. The fighting's okay. But it does have an interesting story mode. These have been going up in price since they were announced as backwards compatible. Same thing with the Mortal Kombat from 2011. So if you can find them, I paid $10 each, I believe, for these. Yep. So I paid $10 each for these, which to me looks to be a steal. For Mortal Kombat, if you can get the complete edition, which gives you all the DLC like Jason and Freddy Krueger, definitely go with those. Like I said, you can't buy them on the store, but both of these games I have not actually beat. I love that NetherRealm has like cinematic story modes for their fighting games. However, I don't really like how they play. So that's why I have not played them, but now that I own these, I will get to that. Alright, next one is a game I already owned, but I love this cover edition, Gears of War 2. As you can see, if I take the slipcover off, it's just regular Gears of War 2. But this is my favorite Gears game. I didn't get into the multiplayer as big as I did for 3, but I think story-wise, this is the best one. This version came with all the DLC. So if you can find this one with the code intact, this is easily, I think, worth $10, $10, $15. Yeah, and this one doesn't even have a code, but thankfully I have all the DLC. This is backwards compatible, and this did get a FPS boost, so you can play this at, I believe it's 60. It might be 120 on the series consoles, but yeah, I paid $10 for that. Easily worth it if you can get it with the code. All right, next one. Star Wars Force Unleashed Ultimate Sith Edition. So, the Force Unleashed is one of those games, those Star Wars games, that I find very, very underrated. Great game set between episodes 3 and 4, where you play as just the most overpowered dude ever, but it's so fun. You have so many different force powers at your disposal, and basically you're just mowing down stormtroopers the whole game, and it's great. The Ultimate Sith Edition, obviously outside of the Steelbook case, comes with all 3 DLC. So you have a DLC where you go back to the Jedi Temple, and then there was a story after one of the endings. Takes place after the bad ending, if you choose that, where you track down Luke on Tatooine. So you get to go through that, go through Jabba's palace. Both those were released at the time this came out, so the main point of this package here was to get people the new Hoth level. You can see right there. Basically just follows on from that bad ending and takes you through The Empire Strikes Back. This also came with all the, from what I can remember, the DLC costumes, which were basically like, if you wanted to change your skin to Obi-Wan, you could do that, Mace Windu, whatever. Came with a little booklet showcasing different cards that would come with these. So each of them would come with a certain card. I've got number 8 of 10. These are really cool. I don't think they're worth trying to track all of them down. But I paid about $33, I think, for this. The game and the DLC are backwards compatible, so you can just buy them on the Xbox store. But if you can get a hold of this, I think this is just a really cool collector's item. And it was one of the like 360 games I really wanted to get this year. The other being Budokai Collection, and then Marvel Ultimate Alliance Gold Edition. All right, and my final 360 game, Street Fighter 4 Collector's Edition. So, when Colin and I were at that game store, I was just going to buy base Street Fighter 4 for $10. And then I was checking out, and I saw this on the wall, and this was $20. And I'm like, well, I might as well get this. So, the game's supposed to come with a Sea Viper figurine, which I got. Collector's hint book, a token for some costumes on the game, and then you get a CD soundtrack, and then a Street Fighter 4 The Ties That Bind movie disc. So, got the disc, got the hint booklet, and then I got the costume voucher right there. That comes in one case. And Street Fighter 4, obviously. Did not come with the soundtrack, unfortunately. No, wait, no, it did. No. So I didn't get the game. Interesting. Well, whatever. This is backwards compatible. It's a good game. I think every version of Street Fighter 4 is backwards compatible, so if you want the most complete package, get the arcade release, and then if you have it on Xbox Live, there is a Ultimate Edition upgrade you can buy for it. Otherwise, you can get the Ultra Edition on disc. That will do the same thing. But that just has the most amount of characters, and the most balance updates. But yeah, this for $20 was a good get. If you can get Street Fighter 4 for $10, $15, I think that's a really good deal. All right, moving on to the Xbox One. First game, Call of Duty World War II. I'm going to be honest, I played COD up until, I think Black Ops 2 was the last one I bought. And then I stopped playing after like 2 days, so I didn't buy any after that. Until Infinite Warfare came out, and that came with Call of Duty 4 Remastered, which at the time you had to buy that to get it. So I did. Never played Infinite Warfare. But I played the shit out of Modern Warfare Remastered. So, but World War II was the second Sledgehammer one. Sledgehammer is the third developer behind Infinity Ward and Treyarch. So that was their second endeavor. So I have not played the campaign. I've heard good things. So picked that up for about $7. Was worth it. All right, next one. Rocket League. One of the greatest multiplayer games released in the last 10 years. If I'm being honest. It's just car soccer, which sounds stupid. But great game. It came with Flash DLC. I got this for about $20, but for whatever reason, I've been seeing this one, and then they did a second physical release. I forgot what that one was called. These have been going up, like, I've been seeing these for like $50, $60. I don't know if that's with the DLC included, because that's the only way to get it, but this is a game you can play on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's on Switch. You can play this anywhere. A lot of you probably own this, but I think this was a good one to get on disc, just to own. All right, next. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary. This includes, let's see, 12 Street Fighter games. So you have Street Fighter 1, Street Fighter 2, you have 5 different versions of Street Fighter 2. This was before they did updates, so you got all 3 alpha games, and then you have all 3 Street Fighter 3 games. So there's a lot of content here. This was, I think, $40 when it came out. Yeah, if you're a Street Fighter fan or you want to get into what made Street Fighter great, this is a great place to start. There's a bunch of different versions of Street Fighter 2 that you'll like on there. I don't recommend playing Street Fighter 1, but Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 2 are both great, and the Alpha series, so give those a try. Next game, got this for $6, Assassin's Creed Unity. This was the first new next-gen Assassin's Creed game. It takes place in France. You play as Arno. This game was actually a really buggy mess when it first came out, and this was actually one of the first games I got with my Xbox One, because I bought the bundle that came with Unity and Black Flag. It is in a lot better state now, and you know, Nate played this game and he loved it, so looking forward to giving that another try. Alright, next two, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This was the breakout game from Sledgehammer Games. This was kind of the first, from my memory, this is the first one that had like advanced movement. So you had like exosuits, so you had boosting and wall running, I believe, from all that. I played a little bit of multiplayer with one of my roommates in college. He had it on his PS4. I actually really liked it. Never got around to the story, and this was $5, so good pickup there. Another game for me to play. And finally, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. This was like a reimagining of the old Modern Warfare series, which were my favorite Call of Duties. You got Captain Price, who you can see right there on the cover. I actually played a decent amount of this online. It was pretty fun. More boots on the ground versus the newer wall running and everything that those had. I got this for $10 mostly because I bought Modern Warfare 2 that just came out and was playing through the campaign. I'm like, well, I should play the campaign on this first. So got that. Definitely worth a pickup if you're looking to get back into Call of Duty. If I were to recommend any new Call of Duties to you, it would be the new Modern Warfare ones. That's it for all the games. So lots of good pickups in here. Like I said, this has been over the last like two-ish months, 2.5 months that I've been collecting this stuff. Just a few other things I got. Found the Gears of War 3 soundtrack. It was $8 at a half-price books. So I like collecting game soundtracks when I can find them. If they're for a series I really resonate with. So I bought that. And also, I finally got my shipment of the Dark Souls vinyls. So I ordered this back in, it was like May or June, I think. And it kept getting delayed. So, yeah. Finally got these a few weeks ago. Dark Souls 1 vinyl. Great game, great soundtrack. Dark Souls 2. Very underrated game, in my opinion. And Dark Souls 3. All great games. Yeah. I know those were side things, but yeah, just in regards to these games, like I said, prices are going up on some of this stuff. So if you're looking to collect, some of these are good, especially the PS3 games, because we don't know how long Sony plans on keeping that store active. So start buying those when you can. 360 games, if you're looking to collect, some of these are starting to get pricey. So definitely do that. Otherwise, if you're just looking to play them, I recommend just go buy them on the Xbox store. They host sales every once in a while where you can get a bunch of this stuff cheap. So yeah, that's all I got for now, though. Let me know if you like this stuff, guys. Like, if you do, I will keep setting stuff aside and doing videos every 2 months or so of stuff I'm buying. Otherwise, let me know what I should be on the lookout for, and if there's anything in here that you guys really like. But that's all for me today. Thanks, guys. See you later.